to need extra fuel. So we're going to save more of this fuel as fat. And so this regulates with this has big ramifications for insulin functionality and insulin resistance and things like that. And about telling the body to store more sugars and things like that, store more fat. So what we typically see with progesterone use is especially over time, is we start to see more and more weight gain. And so, and again, this isn't every single woman every single time. Everybody has different little thresholds, but this is one of the things we start to see. And so women who have been on progesterone-based birth controls for a while will tend to see more fat accumulation. Now, again, if you're on progesterone for a long time and your body gets used to a specific level of progesterone, and then you get off that birth control, you get off that progesterone, your body's ability to then produce its own progesterone is sometimes inhibited. So what ends up happening is long-term function with with progesterone-based birth controls. We see a little bit of issue with progesterone. Now, this is, again, not the worst thing in the world, because if you get with a doc who understands how these hormones work and you're like, oh, I've been on progesterone for 10 years. All right, cool. We're probably gonna have to give you a little bit of progesterone once the egg drops and everything comes in. So you have to time it a little bit better, or like with IVF, you implant it and then you give the body progesterone to kickstart the cycle and build up all the progesterone function. So you're going to have to probably play with progesterone later is the big thrust of what we're going on. But if you're on a progesterone based birth control and first couple months, you don't notice anything, but after 2 or 3 years, you notice that you're gaining weight on the same diet with the same amount of exercise, then you might want to look at the progesterone function. Because progesterone does have the effect. It does tell the body, we are pregnant. You need to store things for the pregnancy. So keep that in mind. Again, the number one thing that requires energy from the body is creation of tissue. So when we talk about the fastest way to burn fat is build muscle, right? Because your body has a giant amount of ATP need, or energy need, not calories. Again, calories are silly. Has a giant amount of energy needs and nutrient needs while it's creating this baby. Well, the smartest thing for the body to do is, as soon as it goes, oh, we're pregnant, when the baby's little itty tiny bitty, is to start storing fat so it has energy to then develop this baby forward. So it just makes sense. So if you've noticed that you're on a progesterone based birth control and you're starting to gain weight, take a look at that. Again, it has to do with functionality with the body and hormonal control, and long term, it has a big play with insulin as well. So keep that one in mind. All right. So you're like, oh man, well, I don't want to do any hormonally based birth controls because those apparently are going to mess me up long term, and they're going to do all sorts of things. And theoretically they can, so be careful with them. So you're like, oh, I'm going to go look at the copper IUDs. All right, great.